What's quack-a-lacking, guys? I'm a Duck Quack here, and welcome back to another episode on our Investments Explained series. So, in this episode, we are going to be looking at League SBCs and seeing how we can find the value within these. So, as it stands, we have 4 released. We have the Liga Bankuma, Russian League, Liga NOS, and Super League. So, the very first way that we can find some value in these is, I don't know why I just came out of them when we needed to be in them, is doing the teams within them that have valuable packs, for example, Zenit. So Zenit gives you a premium gold players pack, and you can pick up most of these gold players for very cheap. Now, there's no reason that investment and making profit in coins and stuff can't be something as simple as doing squad builder challenges. All 4 of these leagues have certain teams in here that at certain times can be done for profit. Like Tigress here, another 25k premium gold players pack, and it was basically nothing to complete. That is such a basic way for us to make coins to start off with, and if you guys haven't done these yet, then there is an SBC guide that I've got that I can give you if you drop me a message. But if not, you guys can work it out fairly simply anyway. Use Footbin. You can see on Footbin all the prices of the leagues, and then the prices of the individual teams against the rewards, and just work out what is profitable. If you're sniping and mass bidding on the players as well, you'll save even more coins. The second way that we can make huge profit on these guys is very, very simple. We just buy them in advance. So personally, I've already completed 3 leagues that haven't come out yet. We've completed League N. Now, these are so cheap to do at the moment, simply because nobody else is doing them. Why would people do them when they're not out? That's our big advantage. That's why we can pick up all of these players for stupidly cheap, and that's why we can get ahead of the game. I've also done the MLS one. Now, the MLS one and the smaller ones are brilliant because you have like 2 pages of gold players or whatever, and then it's just silver players galore that you could pick up for anywhere between like 400 or 500 coins. You can probably see some of mine I've overspent on because I'm very limited for time, but you guys can do this ridiculously cheap if you put patience in. And when it drops, as soon as it drops, you can either complete it, have a load of packs in a player, or you can just sell it for massive amounts of profit. The choice between the 2 is completely up to you guys, but there's so much value to be found. When you are completing it, you will find out little, tiny, big investment tips, if you like. I'm not sure what word to use here. So if we jump onto the MLS as my example here, and this is the one that I've invested in heavily, so I don't know if it's going to pay off or not, but I'm just going to show you it anyway. It's on my Trade to Glory, so I'm not going to ruin the market for anyone else. If we look at centre-backs for LA Galaxy, there's 2. There's a bronze one and there's a silver one. That's it. That's all they have. There are no formations that use less than 2 centre-backs, so we're going to guarantee that we need one of these players. If we look on the market, the bronze guy can be picked up for very cheap. He's a lot more expensive than when I last checked he was. I bought about 30 of this guy for 150 coins. And it's because I see him as an investment. For as soon as this SBC hits, I'm going to want to sell him on for massive amounts of profit. Now, it's not just this one team that has this setup, obviously. Find other teams. Maybe a team's only got 1 striker. Maybe they've only got 2 midfielders. Maybe they've only got 1 left back and 1 right back. Maybe they've only got 2 centre backs. There's so many options. Just do a bit of research, find out what they are, and if they're silver players, then you can pick up these silver players for discard, and the silver players will be worth so much more. The guy that I was looking at here, the silver version, was already too expensive for me to think about investing in. But if you find that niche with silver players, you are going to make an absolute fortune for yourselves. That's 2 different ways. First one is the actual SBC completion of certain parts. Second way is preparing in advance, either completing the whole league or just picking up key cards that are needed for people to complete the league. The third thing that we are going to look at here is going to be, let's find the Super League, silver trading. Now this, guys, is absolutely huge. So a lot of these leagues need silver players. The smaller ones, obviously, not like the Liga and the, well, sorry, not the Premier League, not the Bundesliga so much, but these ones need them. So if we put on Super League, a filter for silver players, and then we just set it to something, say defender, for example, and then search. Now we can scroll to the very last minute of these pages, which is going to take us an absolute year to do. Let's be a little bit more specific. Let's go to centre backs. We don't want too many search filters coming in here. That's a bit better. So then we can just come to the end of these, to the 59th minute, and see if we can pick up any bargains. Now, you don't have to do it with sniping. Mass bidding also works very well. But the problem you guys are going to have when you start off this method is you're not going to know how much anybody is worth. You're not going to know if a player is supposed to be selling for a 500 coin buy it now. And that's where it gets a little bit slow to start off with, because as soon as you find these very cheap players in the 59th minute, you're going to have to either look at Footbin or you're going to have to compare the price to just make sure that it's a good deal. You don't want to be buying someone for too many coins then realizing you made an impulse buy and lost them. But if you compare price, you've usually got enough time to do that and still pick up the player. As you can see, there are tons of them on the market. And loads of these do go for a couple of thousand coins. So it isn't unheard of to make a couple of thousand coins on each card you pick up. And to pick up quite a few of them. Scrolling straight down here. We finally got there. So we got a 1,000 coin centre back here. You can see he sells for 1,200. It's not a good buy. A 1,300 coin centre back. And the cheapest one on the market is about 1,700 coins. So we could flip him for about 300 coin profit instantly. What else do we have here? I like the silver rare ones sometimes. Nope, he goes for 2,500 coins. You can see the method behind it here, guys. It's not a particularly hard one to do. The key here is getting your filters right. So setting up how you want to search for them, setting up what positions you want to search for, setting up, I thought it was goodbye then, setting up exactly how much you want to spend. So if we set it to 1,000 coins and then search, you'll see that we have a very limited pool. So coming down to the last guy here, he sells for 1,000 coins. So there's not a lot of profit to be made. This guy here, the cheapest one on the market is currently 1,500 coins after this one. So what we could do is just straight up buy this guy here and then list him for 1,400 coins. It's going to be about a 300 coin profit, and it was literally the easiest thing that we've ever done. That way we can just rinse and repeat with these filters until we have got enough profit from them. Well, what is enough profit? Look at that. Look at that. The cheapest... Okay, well, we saw it for a second. We could have made about 2,000 coins on that player, but we made a stupid mistake and didn't buy him quick enough, I guess. How much does this guy sell for? He's about 1,200, so not a big amount of profit on there. Then we can just simply back out, refresh the search filter, and go again. And because it's such a common search filter, so many players are going to be listed on this so frequently that we will always find ourselves some kind of bargains available. We don't just have to use centre backs. We can broaden the search to defenders, and then we can have a search here. The problem with that is there's a lot of certain left backs from certain teams that flood the market, which make it a little bit harder to do, but it's still possible. If you come all the way to the 59th minute, you often will find different left backs, right backs, all kinds of stuff that do have a little bit more value and can make you that little bit more profit. You'll quickly learn the faces that have no kind of value. Goalkeepers and strikers, I find this method doesn't work quite as well with. And the reason for that is they do flood the market. And as you can see here, it looks to be pretty much the same with these midfielders. There's just so many available that we're not seeing much. Let's go one more page. We're not seeing much variety between them. And when you do get to the 90th minute? When you do get to the last minute, you can then search. Then you can compare. You can see that he's going for 600 coins was the cheapest and it hadn't sold. You can see that this guy is currently going for 700 coins. You can see that this centre mid is currently going for 600. So there's no profit involved. You do quickly learn, like I said, which ones do have their value there. It's a method that people make absolutely hundreds of thousands of coins off, but it's all about just refining these search filters and getting them down to how you want them to be. If we do another method here, so slightly changing it up, but pretty much the same principle, we're just going to look at bidding on players here. So we come into Super League and we'll just scroll along. Anything that has got a bid on it already usually indicates a little bit of value unless they're a striker or a goalkeeper. And that's where we could start to make our profit. Like this guy here, I'm willing to bet he's going to be a good buy. Just because someone else is doing the work for you. And I know I shouldn't be encouraging this because it is so lazy, but I'm not going to lie, I've used it before. I literally come in, find things that people have bid on, and then just bid on them myself for profit. Why is he going for 1,400? Is he really that expensive?